And here we go, 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Good for you. Many people trying to get west, maybe an early start to the weekend. There's a live look at the CDOT cameras along I-70 westbound at Silver Plume. Tomorrow, many places in the high country are going to waking up to multiple inches of snow. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Sam Shocker, in for Kim Christensen. Our team is calling for a weather impact day tomorrow as we track another round of snow to start the weekend. Let's take a look at a live look at the top of Steamboat Ski Resort. You can see the snow is already starting to fall and will continue throughout the night. So let's check in with Corey Reppenhagen, meteorologist. Corey, what about the snow coming here to Denver? When will we start to see flakes?
Yeah, it won't be until very late tonight, maybe even after midnight before we start to see the impact of that snow here in the metro area. We're not looking at heavy snow or big accumulation, but I think it will have an impact on the drive because of cold temperatures and some wind. That's why we have a 9 News weather impact day. Here's the cold front right up here moving through Wyoming right here. Should be here in the Denver area by 9, and we'll see some snow develop after that. We already have some snow showers going on in the high country. Just got a report from Berthoud Pass. The snow is blowing, visibility's low, and it is sticking to the ground already there on Berthoud Pass. Here's the winter weather advisories across. We do have 3 to 10 inches possible here along the Front Range foothills, and even the base of the foothills could do really well. 7 to 14 inches up in the high country here. We do have a weather impact day for tomorrow. Only expecting light snow, but the impacts could be big enough there on your drive to have that weather impact day, and then a cold day for the last day of the National Western Stock Show. But we'll get some clearing and some sunshine. So when we focus on that snow coming on Saturday here, light but impactful snow. That's what we're calling it here. Timing, the bulk of it, midnight till noon tomorrow, but flurries will continue even into the nighttime hours. So it's an all-day event, basically. 2 to 4 inches in the metro areas, 3 to 6 in the foothills, and 6 to 12 in some of the mountain passes. I'll have more details on that Saturday storm coming your way in just a few minutes.
I certainly want to pay attention. Thanks, Corey. Well, after spiking during the pandemic, bank robberies in the metro area have now been plummeting for the last 3 years.
That's right. The number of robberies last year was about a quarter the amount reported in 2021. The big question is, why? Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us now. Kevin, you've been digging into this. Do we know what's driving those numbers down?
Well, Sam and Tom, the U.S. Attorney credits aggressive investigations and prosecutions and tough prison sentences. But at least one other factor in particular may also be involved.
May 2023. A man in a hard hat and a construction vest hands a credit union teller a note demanding money and pulls a gun.
Any crime like a bank robbery that involves even a threat of violence becomes exponentially more dangerous.
More dangerous, according to Acting U.S. Attorney Matt Kirsch, because the robber making the threat can carry it out, and it's met with an armed response.
Anytime that you're adding that factor into a crime, it becomes much more dangerous for bystanders.
But there's good news on that front. Since spiking in 2021, when 152 bank robberies were reported in the metro area, the number fell to 106 in 2022, to 75 in 2023, and to 34 last year.
We have jurisdiction over bank robberies, and we have been exercising that jurisdiction significantly.
That's meant aggressive investigation by the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force and aggressive prosecution by his office. According to Kirsch, federal court means tougher sentences than those in state court, something he says is discussed among robbers. And there's this.
We've certainly speculated that bank robberies got easier when it became unsuspicious to enter a bank wearing a mask. We can't prove that.
What they know for certain is they're glad to be seeing less of guys like this.
We looked into the outcomes of 3 cases prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office. All 3 of those robbers were convicted. One is serving a sentence of more than 13 years and another more than 12 years. The third is set to be sentenced in April. He faces up to 20 years in prison. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin, thank you.
Another property managed by CBZ is being shut down. Now, this one's in Denver, but it has the same neglect problems as the one that's drawn so much attention, that apartment complex at 12th and Dallas. Denver's Department of Health and Environment put up the order to vacate sign on the William Penn apartment complex. It says the property in the 1600 block of Pennsylvania is an imminent hazard to the public and needs to be vacated by tomorrow. The city says the complex has no heat, hot water, natural gas, or working fire alarms. That's among other complaints. CBZ Management is the same company known for issues of reported Venezuelan gang crime and rundown conditions at the apartment complexes on Dallas and on Nome Street in Aurora. Coming up on 9 News at 5, Jaleesa Irizarry talks with a resident who lived with the problems, along with the city health department, about the decision to close. They think it was a propane tank inside of a car that could be the cause of the explosion in Denver last night at around 6th and Spear. It happened just after 10 p.m. Denver police say that tank was inside the car that exploded. Video from the scene shows how badly damaged that car was near the Wendy's drive-thru. Denver police say no one was hurt. They say their investigation is ongoing.
An update today on the Colorado Springs mother accused of drugging and killing 2 of her children. Today, a British court said Kimberly Singler can be extradited home to stand trial. It's been more than a year since Singler fled to the United Kingdom, and this morning, the High Court judge ruled that the government can extradite her back to Colorado. She now has 14 days to appeal that decision, and her attorney says she will. Her attorneys argue that she's facing an automatic sentence of life without parole, which is a breach of European human rights law. With an appeal on the way, there's a good chance this case could drag out for several more months to come.
Today is day 5 of the Trump presidency, and today ICE was cracking down on illegal immigration. Agents were seen in East Boston going into homes, and NBC News has confirmed more than 530 people were arrested yesterday, a figure that's nearly double the daily average of arrests made last September. The administration also says the first deportation flights have begun.
The first of a new round of troops arrived at the southern border to support forces on the ground. NBC's Alice Barr has details from Washington.
President Trump touring disaster areas on 2 coasts today with visits to hurricane-damaged areas of North Carolina and wildfire-ravaged Los Angeles, while raising new questions by promising an executive order to remake or remove the Federal Emergency Management Agency, with states leading disaster response instead.
I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away, and we pay directly, we pay a percentage to the state.
He assailed FEMA for its response to Hurricane Helene.
I appreciate you.
As North Carolina victims spoke about the slow road to recovery.
It's been a nightmare, and I totally feel like that we have been forgotten.
Turning to California, the president saying he has conditions for badly needed wildfire relief, including the state enacting voter ID laws and improving water policies. California officials have repeatedly denied President Trump's claims that they withheld water from southern parts of the state. It all comes as the U.S. southern border is seeing a surge in resources, with the first of 1,500 active duty troops the president deployed arriving in El Paso, Texas, as migrant deportation flights started taking off using military planes in a change in policy. Arrests of undocumented migrants also surging, including a workplace raid in Newark, New Jersey, outraging the Democratic mayor.
None of these people were rapists or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant.
President Trump pressing ahead with campaign promises while raising concerns about his administration's methods and how to help disaster victims through their darkest hours. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Norovirus cases are on the rise this winter, with outbreaks already up more than 30% by December. Now there could be a solution on the way. Moderna says that it's testing a norovirus vaccine. The company says it's in a phase 3 trial and results could be available this year. The trial will be a 25,000-person student. Norovirus is a nasty stomach bug that causes vomiting and diarrhea, and there's currently no vaccine. Moderna needs to see a certain number of cases before it can analyze the data and determine how well its vaccine works.